Prepare yourself for the most life-changing ad you've ever heard. livingproofnewyork.com. The full experience, available on our Patreon.
Like there's no crazy drama. You open the news in America every fucking day. There's like some insanity like that we're involved in. Domestically, internationally. It's insane. It's like exhausting.
It
you know
is
what
very
I mean?
exhausting.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, dude, just take the news, bro. Just I don't want to know. Like is it gonna change anything if I know? I don't think it's gonna change. Like a lot of things, I'm like, yo, you guys are gonna fucking do it anyways.
Do you keep up with the news?
Point? Like probably, honestly, yeah. Like most of the time, I do. It's nice when I don't, though.
Where do you check it out?
Where do I check it out? Twitter.
Like you follow like CNN and The Guardian and New York Times, or?
No, I just follow like insane people who are like probably more chronically online than I am.
Do you consider yourself chronically online?
It's going down.
Because I feel like at least your presence on social media is very little.
I don't think I'm that online now, but like during COVID, I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what does chronically online mean to you?
Like
how many hours a day?
It's disgusting. I don't want to say.
Just say it.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's fucking the life that we're living in right now. I was observing a conversation between Dylan Krause and Hurt.
Yeah.
And they were talking about just like life behind a screen. And just
what do you mean behind?
Like observing life as you're in front of a screen, and how that's not how it's like. They were comparing how they were raised before this time of like just behind the screen to like imagine being raised now where like so much of your life is behind the screen.
Yes, and yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But then again, the other thing is like going back to the freaking MMA thing, which is just this MMA world, this BJJ thing that I never knew about. People be doing things like that are off screen. It's fucking insane. When I hear about it, it blows my mind.
What do you mean? Like people?
Like there are big things going on. Like people are having people really do things that are not on the phone. Like if you actually think about it, if you try to quantify the attention economy, social media, like as part of the global economy, as a way to like figure out what's online and what's not online. What's on social media is like a very small part of the economy. It's kind of a privileged thing, I think. I think it's a privilege not to be online. It really is.
It's also a
what I'm saying?
Handicap.
What to
not be online? It's a tool.
Well, wait. It's a handicap for it's a handicap not for everyone.
If you don't have, you're talking about no access to the internet or just simply not having a social profile?
No, I mean it's definitely. I think basically what I'm saying is like there is a class of people who are extremely successful, who make a lot of money, who don't have to be online. And there's no reason for them to be online. Their lives are better offline. Like, if anything, they're going to make less money if they go online. You know what I mean? Their life is going to get worse. Like, that's crazy. But that's a real thing. You know what I mean?
So you were saying you keep up with the news on Twitter, on X.
Not as much anymore, to be honest, but.
So you don't go on like theguardian.com or newyorktimes.com and subscribe for $1 a week, or?
I used to go to New York Times, but they pissed me off, so I'm subscribed.
What got you tight?
Just like, I don't want to be specific about it, but I don't like the way they cover world events. There's a very clear bias, and I think that bias is fucked up, and I just don't want to support them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think it's...
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I go to like archive.fr there's like that archive.ph website where you could like bypass a paywall that works. I do that.
Don't tell people about that shit.
Huh?
Don't tell people about that shit.
Well, everybody already knows about it. It's, yeah.
Because I've been thinking a lot about like it's funny that we're having this conversation because it came directly from you, and then came from you, and then the needle on the fucking like the rice, the final like grain of rice was listening to Dylan and Hurt.
Yeah.
Just like the awareness of world events that I do not have, that you all seem to have, is something that's interesting to me, because the way that I see it, like in the era of time that we're in now, the winner is like the specialist, and like the specialist like knows a concentrated amount about his specific field and knows less about everything else. So like it's kind of like it's a matter of timing. Like, for example, like if I want to be good at jiu-jitsu, what should I do in the morning? Watch the news for an hour or study jiu-jitsu for an hour? I should study jiu-jitsu for an hour.
Absolutely.
And so like that has led to like, whether it be jiu-jitsu or working on this project or the magazine, like for example, like I read a good amount, but when I'm reading books about like stuff that will benefit me, but I'm not reading about world events. So then when you guys start talking about all this, I don't know about it. So then I was like, yo, maybe I should subscribe to the New York Times for $1 a week, or maybe I should
no, don't do that.
Go on like theguardian.com. And I'm like, how do these people, meaning you, fucking Hurt, Dylan, like know about this shit? But it's not only that, it's also, damn, dude, you know how much time, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I'm actually saying it like, because it's not just like they read one article. This is an accumulation of reading so many fucking articles that you can like grab little bits and pieces from here and there and like come up with random conclusions.
It's absolutely insane.
I'm like, well, for one, as someone who's doing a podcast, I'm like, well, that's a beneficial thing. Like, and two, like, does that mean I'm like not as knowledgeable in the whole? Because like I'm reading, but I'm reading like a very tailored, like curated list of books that I enjoy. And then last thing is like, the other day I was telling you to read the Steve Jobs book, and you're like, I'll get the audiobook. Yeah. And I was sitting there thinking like, you know what's funny? Like, probably if I got the audiobook, like I told my girlfriend to read Shoe Dogs, and she got the audiobook. She was done with it in like 2 days. But Shoe Dogs, like with the extent that I read it at, it took me like, I don't know, like fucking a week to finish. And then I'm like, yo, you could swallow and consume more books so much faster with audio. But then like, that's like the decreasing your attention span shit.
I think.
So anyways, about the news, what do you think about that?
I mean, I do want to talk about the book thing.
Go ahead.
I think there is an important quality to reading that is different than listening to an audiobook. But for nonfiction, I'm cool. I'm more cool listening to nonfiction as audiobook. So like biographies, autobiographies, and that kind of thing. I feel like I can listen to the audiobook. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just about the information and holding it in your mind.
Exactly. It's not really there might be some like cool prose and like how the person wrote the nonfiction, but I don't really give a shit. I just want the info. That's why I'm reading nonfiction.
Yeah.
But for fiction, it's, I don't know. There's magic in the words and seeing the words, and then like building a flow internally in your brain. I don't want to hear it. You know, it's cool when like I don't read out loud. Sometimes I'll like mouth the words if I'm by myself. I'm not like in public, you know. Or I'll even like go back and like I'll say it to myself. Yeah. In private, but
like when no one's there.
When no one's there, I'm not doing it in public. It's also weird reading in public, no? Like reading on the train, I feel like it's a private moment.
I don't know. I used to read on the train a lot.
I know, but then like, yeah, the train's also kind of private. Never mind, whatever.
The train's like can be a meditative thing.
Everyone's in their own world. Yeah. So it is like private. You're not like on a stage. Yeah. Although it is a stage sometimes.
Yeah. How often are you reading? Specifically, the news, and then 2, books, or even consuming audiobooks.
Audiobooks. I'm always listening to. I have to drive a lot for work, so I'm always listening to audiobooks or podcasts. Reading, I don't read as much anymore. I don't have time to. It's time consuming.
Very time consuming.
Yeah, it's great, but you know, when I was younger, I read a lot. Like I would get pretty obsessed with reading, like all the time. It's easier when I travel and I read, and it's actually nice when I travel and read.
Well, reading is a calming experience. In my experience, and it's also nice for me, at least in this world of rush and hurry and do this and deadline,
absolutely.
that you just be like, all right, I got these 4 hours to just fuck off, and I only have to read this.
It's also kind of like reading is also kind of anti, like if all of us have this problem with social media and like how you know how you're reduced, like these things which reduce like a person into an image, you know, or reduce something which is life, which is like nuanced and complex, into something which is very flat, you know. Reading is the anti of that, because writing is also a very private act. It's weird, like it's weird to write. You can't write. It's weird whether you write in public. You can, but it's still like internal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't think books are going away. I think it's important. I think especially because books have so much nuance. It's insane. Like I think about it in like, you know, there are books where like if you read it out loud and you like divided sections of a book to like 200 characters and you posted it on one Twitter account, you would be canceled immediately. There are like multiple like books that are like this, and they're like the most amazing books. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. But there's a place for them to exist in the novel. It's crazy.
Do you think that printed media and books are going away? I know you said that books aren't going away, but like printed media, in the sense that people are getting, that I talk to seems to have the same viewpoint of like, this social media shit is like too much.
I think.
And I was actually reading last night on printed media versus like digital, and digital, like I'm going to send you the article. It's actually not as clear cut of like digital as a win as we think. And digital is also notoriously, people have short attention spans on digital. They are on, like, they click on your, like, let's say your article, and they're on that shit for like 5 seconds, versus like when you pick it up and there's something different.
I mean, the other thing is like, even without social media, there are mad motherfuckers that just don't fucking read. They really don't have, like, it's an ability, really. You need to be able to know how to read. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be able to know how to write. It's crazy. Like, a lot of people just don't write.
Well, writing is also becoming a lost practice.
It is and it isn't. Because, again, it is and it isn't. Because, like, a lot of people just didn't even write before social media. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's just the advent
of social media caused them to write more.
Probably for some people, yeah. And then probably like maybe it gets them hooked. I follow this random Twitter account that like he has like maybe like 20,000 followers or something, and he just posts like long form tweets that like only a handful of people read. Sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. But it's fascinating to me because he's just doing it. He knows like these things aren't gonna get like he knows these things aren't gonna be like read extensively. But he's just doing it. Someone actually brought up the point that like he's written so much of this shit that like you could plug it all into an AI program and create a model that's just going to be able to explain the world through his mind, because he's written so much. You know what I mean?
It's kind of what I like about Twitter is the fact that, like, because it's mainly text-based, you have to think before you post, whereas something like an image is so much easier to conjure.
It's so much easier to conjure. It's so much easier to hide behind.
Like I could like make a story post right now of like this water bottle and call it. But
Yeah.
like I couldn't just make a tweet mindlessly about this water bottle
I
that
think
had
you're-
any type of substance.
Yo, I think you're right. Actually, like recently when I've been going on Twitter, there's like more images and videos, and like it kind of bugs me out because like I used to feel like, you know, maybe it's the people I'm following right now. Maybe I gotta unfollow people, but I you know, sometimes I would go on Twitter and like my girl would be like you're just wasting your time or something. I'm like, no, I feel like I'm actually learning things.
It depends on who
It's
you
crazy.
follow.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the same thing about Instagram is like, yes, Instagram can be a huge time waster, but it all depends on who you follow, because if you're following artists that inspire you, if you're following like companies that you're looking to mirror or learn from them, if you're
Exactly.
following like philosophers who are posting shit, if you're following authors to keep up with their work,
Yeah.
it's actually just important information.
Absolutely. And then if you're into like design or art, that's kind of a good way to see, you know.
It's kind of how I approach social media on my personal shit. I have almost every single person I follow muted, save like 10,
You bastard.
because like I need to see those 10. I follow
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
400 something people. I'm not gonna fucking be looking at 400.
You mean the stories?
No, everything.
Oh, okay.
You can mute story and posts. So I only
That's
have the
fucked.
shit that like I still follow them, so
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
tight. But
That's
I only
not
have the
funny.
shit where like now when I go on it, I see it's like the cream of the crop of the information that I need to see. Now, if I want to look into their personal life, then okay, fuck it. I click on their page.
Well, you
and, like,
kind of have
follow
to
it.
do that. Which is also weird because then, like, when you're doing that, I bet there's a lot of people doing that. Or
Yeah.
if there's not a lot of people doing that, there's a lot of people that want to do that.
I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that.
But then that's also crazy because then it's like, yo, you're like, it's like you went forward to this mass media world, and you were exposed to everything, and now you're going back. You're like shrinking.
I mean, dude, it's
back
fucking
in the-
yin yang.
So it feels like the wheel just got reinvented as far as, do you get what I'm saying?
The way that I went about it was
You
like
get what I'm saying though?
kind of
Like
the way
it's
that,
like no longer the internet anymore.
yeah.
Like if the internet was this expansive thing, you're going back,
shrinking
even
it, yeah.
yeah, even when you're still on the stupid program, but you're like, it's kind of becoming more like real life again.
Yeah, which is
You're
nice.
like reinventing real life, like deeper connections with, you know, people you know, have a special bond with or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I see it is like I was telling Wes, and I think you overheard it, but it was like like the like early human civilizations, they had like I would have contact with you and like 50 other people, and like that's it. I'm keeping up with 50 people. But like obviously
Yeah.
in modern day, we're all following hundreds of fucking thousands of people. Are like I muted them by either if they're unimportant to my life, like what I'm doing, or B, if they post something that was just a total stupid waste of time post, that like seeing it legitimately like made me stupider, or like
Yeah.
just wasted my time, or
Right.
like made me have thoughts of like comparison or like something unhealthy for my brain and my spirit.
Yeah.
So I just did it day at a time. Every time I saw something that I was like, this was like not conductive to like a healthy life, muted post and story. Every single day, day after day, there's like 10 survivors. But like those 10 survivors, like it's nice. Like I actually like going on. But then Instagram knows that, and they changed their platform. So like now there's shit that I don't follow just popping up on the feed of like the people I follow.
They're trying to, they want to drag you back in.
Yeah, because if I scroll like this, like I'll scroll like 2 posts and it says you've seen all posts for the past 4 days. Because like 10 people aren't posting every single day, hard posts. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with that. Don't you have a time limit? I want to make sure you're good.
We can finish like maybe 15 minutes or something.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
How long do you think we've been talking for? I mean, you know.
An hour.
Yeah.
Probably an hour.
Yeah. Um, I was telling.
You don't cut this out. I think it's cool to leave this in.
I'm down to leave it in.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What that shit you just said.
What did I just say?
Like, you have a time limit?
Yeah. No, I'm down.
I think it's funny to leave it in.
Yeah.
Even like when someone comes in the door and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down. I've noticed that like before when we started the podcast, it was like everything has to be fucking like.
Fine.
And then I was watching other podcasts. I'm like, it's actually better when you're all just chilling.
Yeah, like on Joe Rogan, like people go to the bathroom and take a piss.
Yeah, they're like, dude, there was on the fucking Elon Musk one. They were talking about arrows and like how well, like because like Joe Rogan does archery. They're talking about like how well Tesla could withstand.
I saw that.
And they were like,
let's do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put a cell phone clip of them shooting the Tesla with arrows.
I saw that, yeah.
It's kind of fried, dude.
It's nuts.
It's just like the craziest privilege that you can get to. You can just shoot a Tesla with arrows for fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if like, I understand they're in their world and it's just like totally separate from the one we're in. But even if I was in that world, I don't know if I would, dude, I don't think I would post something like that out of consideration for like the like world. Like you have like two of the richest people. I'm sure Joe Rogan's not the richest dude ever, but like you might as well be shooting a Tesla for fun with an arrow. That's OD, dude, in my opinion.
I mean, the Cybertruck.
Whatever the fuck they shot at, dude, you gotta chill with that. That thing's worth like $80 billion or like $80,000.
Yeah, but it has like a rolled steel exoskeleton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not like hitting like a car with like a nice paint job. It's like raw metal, right?